I can smell your wife, Frida.
Can we rewind the program a little bit?
Sure.
Well, I need to rewind a little bit more.
A laugh going on there somewhere.
I found the Don audio when he called our radio show. We brought this up earlier. Anybody want to set it up?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you brought it up, actually, that he called the radio program.
One day on the Opie and Anthony program, there was such a dislike between the two shows when Don and Mike were in Manhattan, and they were on NEW along with this show. And the tension came from, I think the only people that knew they were on NEW were the people on this show and 4 other people, because they got no ratings.
I'll tell you why there's a dislike, by the way.
Yes.
Don and Mike were shoved down our throats. You know, we had a big part in the shows on WNEW for the most part.
Yeah.
You know, we loved Ron and Fez and Scott Farrell. Holy crap!
Wow, you had a mental block.
I almost mispronounced his name there. And Don and Mike, they had some weird thing with their contract and stuff, and they were forced down our throats. And we knew they didn't have what it took to do New York radio. Simple as that. We just knew. And they proved us right by failing miserably. And then they failed in Philly because then, you know, they were forced to be thrown on a radio station in Philly as well because of some kind of weird contract they had.
Yeah.
So they failed in New York. They failed in Philly, which was just a nightmare for us because we were trying to build something, you know. We were trying to build this talk show lineup that you know, could go into a lot of these big markets.
A Buffalo lineup.
Right.
We needed.
So, you know, right off the bat, we're like, ugh.
Yeah.
Same with Tom Leykis. We knew he'd fail in New York. He was a failure as well.
Yeah,
but these guys were shoved down our throats, and in the beginning we tried to be nice.
Promote them and be nice and everything.
But then we realized, what a waste of time. You know, so we spoke our minds like we do on a regular basis, and he didn't like that too much. So then we were on in Washington as well, where he's really big, and we were doing very well in his old slot because we kicked him out of Afternoon Drive.
Yeah.
He had to take middays. That's how much confidence the company had in his show.
And that's how they got. That's when they got really pissed
So
off.
the afternoon ratings went down, but we still were number one, and that's all that matters in this business, to be number one in certain demos. So then they could sell that demo and make a lot of money for the company, right? But Don couldn't take it that we kicked him out of his slot in Washington. And, you know, we were making fun of him once again, and he couldn't take it that he called the program.
Well, then they got really bad blood. Everybody laid off for a little while, and I think they piped up and said something smart, and, of course, we were just smashing his fat face.
Right.
And he got so mad listening and obsessed as he was, he actually called in.
Anthony and I mean, love us or hate us, we know how to get under people's skin.
Oh.
Say what you want about me on the Internet, to your friends. I don't really care.
Nasty.
I don't really care. The fact is, I gave up reading message boards a long time ago.
Why?
Because there's just you know, most of them are just looking for things that are wrong with the program.
There's a lot of cool people and stuff, but
I'll scan Whackbag.
The few can really ruin it for everybody.
I'll scan Whackbag. I'll scan opieanthony.net. I understand why those sites are very important to our show, but you know, when people start getting picky and stuff, I'm like, all right, well, I'm not reading that thread. I know what this is about, whatever. But Ant and I know how to get under people's skin. Simple as that. I mean, ask Howard. Ask Howard. He couldn't take our abuse. So anyway, we were getting under his skin so bad that he had to call the radio program, right?
Yes. And it's like almost like flirting with a girl at work. The doctor grabbing the tits, that's the level of desperation that was. You just couldn't take it anymore. You don't call into a rival radio show. All you're doing is setting yourself up to be smashed harder.
You cannot succeed.
And they were just crucifying this fatso. We were just trashing him. And he broke down and called in.
Yeah.
Very angry.
Yeah.
But he couldn't bully like he does in his own little studio. No one gives a shit about him on this show.
And here's the exchange.
To talk to me on air. Yeah, sure.
Bye-bye, Don. Bye-bye. It was a good shot, though, Don.
Oh, what? Now you don't want to discuss it?
Sure. There's nothing to discuss.
Sure, let's discuss it. Let's discuss your ratings on WJFK in my home market.
Absolutely, Don.
Let's do it.
Fine.
How's it feel to be in 14th place?
Not bad at all. We're still building an audience.
Are you really?
Yes, hell yeah.
Not from the numbers I'm looking at.
Don, we are doing so much better
than you are doing in New York. That's for sure.
I don't dispute that, but I have the numbers in front of me from D.C. And about those New York numbers, why don't you be specific when you say you're number one in all male demographics?
We are number one men 18 plus, number one men 18 to 49. That's what we were hired to do. Yes.
Yes, and what are the numbers?
Who cares? We're number one. I don't have them in front of me.
You say you're number one, 18 to 34?
And plus, Don, are we number one men 18 plus in Washington, D.C. with this trend?
Let me look, and I will tell you I know you're down.
It doesn't matter. We number one men 18 plus in Washington, D.C. with the trend that
Yes, which is not the goal.
Yes, thank you.
You're such a dick. Did your skateboard fall and hit the button?
Thank you, Don. I'm not going to nitpick with a guy that's a complete loser in New York City.
Failure. We don't want some of that failure rubbing off on us, Opie, here in New York City.
Don, don't do this to yourself.
Is it possible that you could not be stupid?
Don't do this to yourself, Don.
Yeah,
You're
Don,
looking really silly.
Let me read you the
You're
trend
looking really
numbers.
Silly. It's a desperate man. I feel bad for him.
He is very desperate. He would never have called to take the abuse if he wasn't a completely desperate man.
You don't see Ant and I calling his show.
Absolutely not.
Or anyone else for that matter.
Hey, Don. We're calling the U-Haul, so we're going to do you a favor.
Okay,
we're going to pack up all your bags in New York.
Before you hang up, because you're afraid to hear the truth, and you're afraid for your audience to hear the truth.
You mean the truth that you're done in New York?
Here you go.
And you're going to be fired?
Here's the truth. Here's the truth, Anthony.
Yeah.
The truth is we'll continue broadcasting in D.C., and Don and Mike will not be broadcasting in New York City.
That's the truth.
There you go.
Yeah.
Are you listening to these numbers? These numbers are not going up, asswipe. They're going down.
No, they're not.
Oh, no, Don,
Mr.
really?
Geronimo.
Really?
I think you're smart enough in
Really,
as far as wow, that hasn't been known. Oh my God!
Don't you want to hang up on?
Oh my God! That was a mic source on the air.
There you have it, man. I love that because that was the last time we ever talked to those fat fucks.
Oh, what a fat, desperate zilch.
That was the day, I guess, he got fired from the New York gig because he failed miserably. And remember, we started smashing his stuff in his office and
we
everything?
went into the office and started smashing, throwing stuff out the window. And
I still have a Don and Mike WNEW bowling pin sticker refrigerator magnet on my refrigerator.
Really?
Yes.
Collector's item.
So I don't eat. I just look at that and it kills my appetite.
That's like having a grill from an Edsel. Another failure.
Why would you answer that question? Are we number one, men 18 plus? Because that's
He goes,
what.
Yeah.
You know, we love that the ladies listen to us, but especially in commercial radio, we were hired to be just number one with men.
Yep.
Number one, men 18 to 49 to be, specific, and they didn't even really care about any other ratings. They just didn't care.
Yep.
They don't care.
So he walked right into a freaking roundhouse.
He should have just lied and said, no, you're number 4.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's
Lie
dumb.
and say, no,
No,
you're not.
You're not.
Right. Then we would have kept him on the line because it's not good to leave like that.
Yes, but that's not the goal. Click.
Yes. But, yeah, that's not the goal.
So long, fat boy.